Welcome to the story behind the image. This is a photographic journey of my trip to the Bikini Islands in the summer of 1999. The Discovery Channel had called me up and asked if I would mix the audio for their 2-hour live opening for their famous Shark Week. I was naive enough not to know that the island's name had nothing to do with the swimwear. Yet the swimwear's name had everything to do with the island's explosive past. This historical photo shows the very first nuclear blast after World War II. And you can see the Bikini Island just sitting there taking it. Today, the Bikini Island is still uninhabited. Yet it has become a mecca for scuba diving and oceanic research. We actually had to fly to an adjacent island and take a boat to the Bikini because this was the only way onto the island. You may be asking yourself, where is the Bikini Atoll? Well, it's in a section of the Pacific Ocean called Micronesia. The country is actually called the Marshall Islands. The Republic of the Marshall Islands has many more islands than are pictured here, but the Bikini Atoll sits atop towards the north end of most of these uninhabited Pacific Islands. The atoll itself is a series of ring islands or coral reefs, and on the left you see Shark Pass. That's where the aggressor research vessel was anchored, and on the right you see Resort and the airport. Welcome to the Bikini Atoll International Airport. That's it. That's all there is. Just this one little building. The quaint little international airport was located on the island of Niue, just south of Bikini. We then took a small boat over to Bikini. It took about 45 minutes. Ah, paradise and our deluxe accommodations. Now it's time to get to work. And there was a lot of work to be had. All of our gear was on this boat, and it was underneath in 3 holding compartments and a couple of the fishing boat's refrigerated compartments, plus the entire deck on the back was completely filled with gear. It took us about 6 to 8 hours to get all the gear off because we had to get it off the ship and then onto either one of these cars. We had a bulldozer and these 3 pickups to get all of the gear about a mile down the road to the compound. We did use the Charlie's Angel for some of our locations during the Discovery Channel shoot. We had some divers underneath near the USS Saratoga, which had been sunk during some of those nuclear blasts. And off to the left here is the Aggressor, which was our main research vessel. And I say main research vessel as if like it's mine. But we are actually supposed to stage all of our studio and everything on this boat and then microwave transmit the signals back to this island here. The Aggressor was supposed to be 23 miles out. Actually, it was 23 miles out, but it ended up not being the main location because of all kinds of technical problems we had. We had to bring all of the studio back to the island. This newly constructed tower, now the tallest thing in all of the Marshall Islands, was the mainstay of our signal transfer between the island and the Aggressor that was 23 miles out on the other side of the Bikini Atoll. As you can see, we placed our microwave transmitters and receivers on the top of the tower to actually overcome the crest of the Earth, because the Earth is round. And you just can't point something line of sight from the ground and expect it to go very far, believe it or not. So we had to construct this tower tall enough to overcome the curvature of the Earth. And now you can see the compound where we had all of our gear, and this little pink building was the main control center for the entire broadcast. The view from on top of the tower was incredible. So I took a couple shots, this one facing due north, and it's pretty much just coconut trees. That's the whole island is nothing but coconut trees, with the one little road from the dock to the compound, and then this little road pointing straight north here, and then nothing but absolute perfectly rowed coconut trees. This is the view looking westward. The little black dot is probably the aggressor out by the dock area, and this is the road that leads from the dock to the compound area. Now facing due south, we see the mess hall on the left, and behind the trees is the tiki bar. Looking eastward, the road leads to a diesel-powered electrical generator, and you can see the telephone poles along the street next to all of our deluxe accommodations. This was my view for most of the 21 days while I was there. It's a Mackie 40 channel, or maybe a 56 channel 8 bus console. At the time it was a big deal. Now it's just a regular console. Well, it always was just a regular console. The cool thing about the Mackie mixing board is that Mackie interviewed me for an article, ended up in Live Sound magazine, a really nice 4-page article. So that was kind of cool. So I talked to him about how I use the Mackie for this particular type of a shoot. And there I am, looking as though I'm actually working. I probably am. You can tell it's quite early on in the setup process because I'm actually smiling. Okay, so you'd think we were sponsored by Mackie. We weren't, but with the nice press we got after, we'll say that we were. This is just what it takes to put together a live show for the Discovery Channel. And when you think you don't have enough wires, you're right, because we ran out. We had to make cables out of everything known to man just to get this show on the road. Here we are setting up one of the dive boats. This one's called Bravo. And a couple divers underwater with underwater microphones and earpieces so they can talk back and forth. And that was actually pretty cool to do live talk back with a scuba diver underwater. I don't think I've ever done that before. I don't think I've ever done that since. But this is some of the fiber optic gear and some of the audio gear and some of the video gear and some oxygen or just air or whatever it takes to do what we had to do. There we go. I felt like that for the last several days of the journey. And I call it a journey because of what we had to go through to get everything to work. I was probably sleepless at that point. We did a couple live hits with like Good Morning America or something, so it was like 3 o'clock in the morning our time, or maybe it was, I don't know what it was. I just remember being up very, very, very late and having almost no free time whatsoever trying to get this going. All in all, the show itself actually went off quite well. And this was a shot as I was on my way home on that first boat ride on the way to the Bikini Atoll International Airport. On the way home, we stopped in the island of Kwajalein. It's a military base, but they do have a commercial runway. And we had quite a long layover, so we were able to walk around a little bit. And you can tell by all of the distances listed that we're quite far from pretty much anything.